This is a new series. It's going to hopefully go through some of the weird/stupid news stories from the current month, because it is the current month.
The priorities for you was to have a cabinet that was gender balanced. Why was that so important to you?
Because it's 2015.
Month. Story for this week. This one comes from Sky News. The headline reads, India. Officials claim Pakistan spy pigeon captured. Now, straight away, this is glorious. The bird is accused of carrying a coded message after it was caught by villagers close to the Indian border with Pakistan. Oh, perfect. Just absolutely perfect. This is exactly what I expected out of the first episode of this series. So, I mean, straight away, this has the making of an amazing story. How can a pigeon be a spy, you ask? Well, let's read on. However, before we can read on, you have to love the Why You Can Trust Sky News banner just below the picture of the pigeon there. That is just perfect. So, now that that's out the way, let's go. I should give a very short explanation of the situation at the Pakistan-India border, or at least a certain portion of it. Basically, there's an area called Kashmir in northern India / Pakistan that has been disputed for decades, and I mean, I'm not going to go into it just now, obviously in great detail, but it's basically a mess. There are like 3 different lines of separation between like India and Pakistan that they both say that they both claim as their own. Although, this isn't the point of this video. The point of this is the ridiculous story that's come out, or the just weird news coverage that's going on nowadays, because I have noticed quite a lot of just odd news coverage and weird, out of the ordinary news coverage that is not being talked about. And it's not necessarily wrong coverage, although there is a lot of that as well. It's just that there's a lot of weird things being talked about. So, the India-Pakistan border in Kashmir is a bit of a mess. There are 3 different lines of separation at the border, and there's basically constant tension in that area. So, yeah, it's not a place I would like to live very much. Although, I just explained this for the context. So anyway, these Indian officials who have caught the spy, caught it at the border, and it's been taken in for questioning. Intense questioning, good cop, bad cop, Gene Hunt, Sam Tyler. Oh well. They said the pigeon was carrying a coded message in quotes. It was caught in Manyari, a village along the India-Pakistan border in Kashmir. Okay, so straight away, let's talk about the way this has been framed. How can a pigeon be a spy? Just how? It can't. That's a weird, bizarre way to think about it. The pigeon can relay messages between Pakistan and their spies operating in India, but the bird itself cannot be a spy. Be specific with what you say if you're going to report something like this. The Indian top security experts are currently trying to decipher a message that was attached to the pigeon in the form of a ring on its leg, along with a probe. So there you go. That's what it says there. He said a ring was attached to one of its legs with some numbers on it, and a probe is on. So, they obviously have their best security experts on this. Literal security agencies are analysing this message on a pigeon to find out the dastardly plan of the Pakistani state to send pigeons across the border and cause havoc in people's houses. So the superintendent of the local police said that on Sunday, villagers gave the bird to the police after it flew into a woman's house, having come across the border from Pakistan. Then you get into the bit about the ring being attached to its leg. So they said, we can't say that it was used for spying. Locals seeing a tag tied with its leg caught the pigeon. Some called it a coded message. In Pakistan's Punjab, people tie number tags on their pigeon to claim ownership. Right, so straight away, why was the headline of this that the Indian officials have claimed that Pakistan have sent a spy pigeon? Because that's not what they said. What they said was, we can't say it was used for spying, and there's a practice in Pakistan of them putting number tags on their pigeons around their legs to claim ownership of the pigeon. So why are you just assuming the worst on the behalf of the people there? Sky News, the Indian officials aren't, but Sky News are. So puts it in perspective of why you can trust Sky News. But I mean, now we come to probably the best sentence in the whole thing, in my opinion. So I'm just going to read this bit out verbatim. Birds have reportedly been used for espionage in the disputed region before. What an amazing sentence to put into print. What a collection of words that my eye is beholding just now. Perfect, just absolute perfection from Sky News. I can't. Birds have reportedly been used for espionage in the disputed region before. Right, okay. So, I mean, they do give an example of this. In 2016, police in Pathankot in India's Punjab state took in a bird that was found near the Pakistan border, which had a note attached to it with an alleged threat to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Right, so this started off as just being hilarious, but it's actually gotten slightly serious. It's like there's an actual threat to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but I mean, who is sending? This is like medieval threats. It's like sending threats and via carrier pigeon. It's like now people just send a nasty tweet like Trump and that general that they killed, I can't remember his name, the Iranian general, were tweeting memes at each other. But like, literally sending offensive messages through carrier pigeon is some amazing stuff there. That's great actually. So I mean, once again, there's like another example as well. The year before,
this is 2015.
A bird was seized a few miles from the border. A bird was seized a few miles from the border after being spotted carrying a stamped message on its body, according to the local reports. How can you be carrying a stamped message? If you get a tattoo, no one would say you're carrying an image. It's a tattoo, it's stamped on you, it's inked into you, it's not like you're not carrying it. It's a weird way to think about that. There's so much weirdness going on in this. That is the end of the article just there. Right, okay, that's all it says. So, what do I think about this? Well, I have a few things to say about this. I mean, there's definitely something there. Like, even though at first glance this is just hysterical news coverage, like if there have been numerous reports of this happening in the same region, then there probably is something to it, which is quite weird because when were the last time carrier pigeons were used? Like, as I say, that's a really antiquated thing to do. I mean, once again, as I said earlier, kind of a weird way to think about it, that the bird itself is the spy or has somehow been trained to do spy work or something. Like, at the very best, these birds could transfer notes between Pakistan and its spies operating within the Indian border. It's like, they can't exactly report anything back. Like, you're not going to get anything out of a pigeon, really. Unless it's been killed, like, you can then go, oh, well, they're killing our spy pigeons. But, like, you can't, like, send a pigeon to go and do some spy work and, like, reconnaissance and then come back and it's like, oh, what did they say? Well, this is what they're doing just now. Like, no. Be, like, have a normal way of saying it. Don't have this sensationalized Indian officials claim Pakistan's spy pigeon captured. Like, That's just clickbait, as far as I'm concerned, and I think it's because news media in general are currently swirling around the drain before they get sucked down it. But even though this is hilarious, like this is what you seem to get when there's been such a long-standing border dispute. You get these weird, strange stories with local villagers handing birds into the police. Like, if a bird flew into my house, I wouldn't think to hand it into the police. It kind of shows the resentment and the kind of armed camps that are sitting on the border that have built up over this time. If a bird with a note around it gets handed into the police, like, that's just strange. And even though it is funny, like, there are serious messages behind it, where I'm saying it does allow resentment to breed in both groups, and it, as I said, sets up armed camps at the border and prolongs a conflict that doesn't actually need to be there. And I'll say before I finish, right, obviously the problems in the region are much deeper than I've said in this video, because this video isn't actually about the problems in the border region in Kashmir, but it's like, stuff like this, while funny, only prolongs it and makes it worse. But oh well. I don't see a solution to this anytime soon, so for now, let's just enjoy the silly news from the current week. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, give it a share, give me a subscription. I'll see you in the next one.